Welcome to Jesus Yoga. I'm so glad you tuned in for another intermediate to very advanced class. Now for this class, most people will need a strap, but maybe you don't. You will see, but it would be good if you have a strap or bathrobe or anything that will serve you to help you open up the shoulders. I, for myself, need it for my shoulders because I have tighter shoulders, so I need to help myself. And there's no worry of using props, that's fine. We're gonna flow through a vinyasa, warming up our body very intensively because we're gonna go into backbending, opening our heart, flowing and letting go. Don't worry about how your body will function, or maybe, the asana that you have in mind is actually not happening in your body. Doesn't matter. Let it go. Just flow with it and have fun. I wish you a wonderful practice with me. Let's start.
So let's start our practice sitting on our heels or in another comfortable seated position. And before we start this intensive practice, we're just gonna become present into the moment. Breathing deeply, inhaling light and exhaling darkness. And in your heart, thoughts might arise like, I should be better, further in my development, feeling better, being more at peace, being able to love deeper or live with more faith. Maybe thoughts come like, I should be further in my meditation practice, my asana practice. All these shoulds. So before we start this practice, I want you to surrender these thoughts, all these burdens, all the shoulds. And as we do that, we come into Bhekasana, wide-legged Bhekasana, child's pose. Surrender all your burdens. So grace can flow when you stop trying so hard and open yourself up. You need just to be present and flow with it, not being attached to the results. Grace will flow when you stop working, pushing, and trying so hard. Maybe instead of your forehead placed down, maybe you want to place your chin down. Stretch out your neck if that's comfortable. Then slowly rise up, come on all fours for some cat-cows. On the inhale up, on the exhale rounding your back. Inhale, opening up your chest. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, really drawing in that belly button, and then glide through into a cobra. Maybe lift your legs, round your back, and come back into a wide-legged child's pose. Glide through cobra, maybe lift your legs up and into a child's pose. Glide through, lift the legs or keep them on the floor if that's not good for your back yet, into a child's pose. Gliding through cobra, cobra actually, and into child's pose. One more time, glide through, opening up your heart into child's pose. Stay here in that child's pose. come slowly forward. Come into puppy pose. Maybe placing your chin down or your forehead. Once you feel ready, you can always place your hands together and put them behind your head or your neck to open up your shoulders a little bit more. This flow is all about letting go of attachments and expectations, just being present, letting grace flow through you. So invite the Holy Mother to come and make us free. Arise from your puppy pose and come into a downward facing dog, walking your first downward facing dog. And then maybe really bending your legs and straightening out your back more, and then straightening out your legs. Loosen up your neck, drawing in your belly and breathing deeply. And then look forward, placing your knees down, placing your hands into your lower back. We're not going to go into full camel. We're just going to lift our chest really up and go into small back bend. And then come forward, place your hands on the floor and back into a downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Coming down again on your knees. And we're going to repeat this, opening up your heart like a string that is attached to your chest and really drawing you up, lifting. And then come back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift your right leg up, bend the knee and open up that hip to the side. Straighten it up again. And then moving forward, really drawing that knee into your nose and straighten. Again, to your right tricep and back straight. Going across now. Right knee to left elbow and straighten up. Straight forward towards your nose and then place that foot down. Come into a high lunge. Raise up your arms to this crescent lunge, high lunge. Hold your core stability here. Then place your back foot down at an angle and come into Warrior One. Stay a little bit longer before you come into the Warrior Two pose. Looking straight over your right hand. Press your left outer corner of the foot down. Now place your right palm up and come into the peaceful warrior. From here, we're going to rise up into the Warrior Two position, keeping our arms straight out. Come across the high crescent lunge, moving towards the right knee, placing the right hand on the left thigh and bending backward if you can. And slowly move out, hands in front of your heart, and come into Skandasana. You can always place your hands down or place your left hand down and lift your right hand up for a nice twist and stretch. Placing the right hand down in front of your heart with a lot of strength, come back into Warrior Two. And then cartwheel your arms around. Come through nice chaturanga, upward facing dog, into a downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, draws into your nose, lifts back up, comes towards the left tricep, lifts back up, and now across towards the right tricep. Straightening out that leg again, and then hold it towards the nose, place it down, high crescent lunge, arms shoulder width apart. Breathe. Stay here, place your back foot down and come into Virabhadrasana 1, warrior pose. Then move into Warrior 2. Outer corner of your foot is really pressing down. And come into a peaceful warrior. Breathing deeply. Flowing into Warrior 2. And then move through high crescent lunge, your arms around, twisting to the left. Lots of core stability here. And maybe bend backward, placing your left hand on your right thigh. Come out of this position again through Warrior 2. Hands in front of your heart or straight out and come into Skandasana. Now hands in front of your heart. Placing the right hand down, left hand lifts up if that's comfortable for you. Nice twist. Placing the hands in front of your heart with a lot of strength, come up back into Warrior 2. And cartwheel your hands down and move through Chaturanga, upward facing dog, into a downward facing dog. We're going to repeat all this just a little bit faster. Right leg up, draws into your nose, lift it back up, towards the right tricep, lift, across left tricep, straightening up again, and then step through into a high lunge. Placing the back foot down, warrior pose 1, warrior pose 2, and into peaceful warrior. Back into the Warrior 2 position, and then turning over the crescent lunge toward the right leg, and then maybe bending backward. Coming out of this, Warrior 2 into Skandasana, hands in front of your heart, or twisting open. Coming back into Warrior 2 pose, cartwheeling your arms, and moving through Chaturanga, upward facing dog, to downward facing dog. Right away, lift that left leg up into the chest, lift it up onto the left tricep and lift. Across the body to the right tricep and lift straight up. Then step through into high crescent lunge, arms over your head. Placing your foot down, Warrior 2, into a peaceful warrior. Come into Warrior 2 pose and turn across the crescent lunge towards the left leg and maybe bending backward. Come out of this pose into Warrior 2. And Skandasana, hands in front of your heart and maybe coming into the twist. Hands in front of your heart again, move forward, warrior two. Cartwheel your hands and move through chaturanga, upward facing dog, into a downward facing dog. Finding rest here, maybe bending your knees, finding length in your spine. Breathing. And then we move forward into plank pose. And then into a side plank. Left arm presses down and right arm straight up. Maybe bend your knee, place the foot on the left inner thigh, and then move over into fallen tree. The right hand right by your ear. And move from here into a wild thing, opening up your heart. Breathing deeply here. Come out of the pose, plank onto the right side plank. Left arm lifts up. Left foot into the inner right thigh and move into fallen tree. From here, place your right foot behind you and come into wild thing, opening up your heart, breathing deeply. Move out of it into a plank pose, move through chaturanga, upward facing dog, into quick child's pose, wide-legged child's pose. Slowly rising up. Knees about hip-width apart, the feet can be a little bit closer. Place your hands into your lower back and opening up your chest wide, like we did at the beginning. Lift that chest and maybe into Ushtrasana, camel pose. Not dumping your weight back, but really lifting up your chest like there's helium in your lungs. Only place your head back if that's comfortable. Breathing deeply and lift out of that pose. Hands in front of your heart and sit onto your heels. Taking a short rest. All kinds of feelings can arise in heart-opening poses, like camel pose. Let's do this one more time. Come, place your hands into your lower back. Stay here or come into camel pose. This time, lifting your left hand up. Lift yourself up more. And then bending your arm back, really breathing deeply. It's a variation of Ushtrasana. And placing that left hand on your foot and lifting your right hand up really high and then lifting it back, opening up. And then placing that hand on the heel again. Stay in full Ushtrasana, breathing deeply and slowly rising up. Your head lifts last. And this time come into a narrow child's pose, placing your hands behind you so your shoulders get a break. Breathing deeply. Staying here for some rest. Next, we will come into a full camel pose, at least towards that. But if you want to repeat Ushtrasana, do that. So rise up, placing both hands in front of your heart, or placing it in your lower back. Stay here. If you're in front of your heart, move back. Stay here, if that's enough, or lift your hands over your head. You can always stay here, really lifting your chest up high. And then slowly, if you can, moving backward until you reach with your arms the floor. Then press up again. I will stay here, but you can come into the full expression of full camel pose. Breathing deeply, and then try to lift yourself up the same way we came in, we come out. If not, just move through as gracefully as you can and come into another narrow-legged child's pose. And take some rest. Enjoy. Breathe. Slowly rise up and move into plank through chaturanga, upward facing dog. Looking over your right shoulder, looking over your left shoulder, straight, and come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And from here, the right leg is moving forward into Kapotasana. Just shifting your weight from side to side, maybe placing a strap close by because we might need it now. Opening up your hip, check your back leg if that's really straight on the floor. And then I'm going to grab my left leg and place it into my hand and move forward, really opening up that quad. Breathing deeply and letting go more. Surrendering more. Now come up, moving into mermaid pose, or just leave that leg into your arm crease. If you can bind, you can always use a strap here as well. And opening up that shoulder. Breathing deeply. At any time you can stay here, or I'm going to use this strap for Eka Pada RajaKapotasana, King Pigeon pose. So place it on your left leg, twist your arm, the elbow up. Stay here, maybe lifting your right hand straight up. And if you're ready, you can grab both strap ends or the foot, coming into the full expression, but only if that feels good for your lower back. Breathing deeply. I'm going to lift my right arm up, straight up again. Place it on the floor and let go of that strap. And then I'm going to lay over the right leg. Really giving my lower back a break. Slowly lift up and move through chaturanga, upward facing dog. Looking over the right shoulder, the left shoulder, moving into downward facing dog. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. So left leg up, and it comes to the front. See that both hips are facing forward. Check your back leg. And then I'm going to grab that right leg and just open up the quad by laying down. Just a nice thigh opener. Releasing all tensions. And slowly moving up, coming into mermaid pose, or just keeping that leg in your arm crease. Maybe you can bind, maybe you need a strap, that's okay. Breathing deeply here. enjoying the moment, the presence. Coming out and coming into Eka Pada RajaKapotasana, King Pigeon pose. Maybe you don't need a strap, then that's okay. Otherwise, practice with me and make sure that strap really holds. Move into half of the pose. You can stay here or lift the left arm up, straight up into the air. That's a deep shoulder opener. Or holding the strap with both arms and coming into the full expression. Enjoying this deep stretch, deep pose. Finding peace in it. Lifting your left arm again. Raising up your head. And slowly come out of the position and lean forward, giving your back a little break. Then slowly move up, come through plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, into a downward facing dog. From here, come through plank. Very slowly lower yourself, very slow. Don't drop yet. Slow, slow. Hold the pose and then lay yourself down. Moving into Bhekasana. Grabbing the outsides of your feet and then maybe turning your hands around. Really pressing those legs down and lifting your chest up. Lifting up, hold it a little bit longer if you can. Breathing deeply and then letting go and moving back into a short child's pose, maybe a wide-legged one. Taking a rest. Rise up. Come forward, moving through plank, through chaturanga, upward facing dog, into a downward facing dog. Then move forward into plank and very slowly, like in slow motion, slowly come down all the way to the floor. This time, grabbing the outside of your feet and moving into Dhanurasana, bow pose. Lift yourself up, opening up your shoulders, breathing deeply. Hold it a little bit longer, building strength and stamina. Lower yourself down, upward facing dog, into a downward facing dog. From here, move forward and hop or step forward, come into a seated position, putting both feet onto the floor and now using your core a lot. In slow motion, lay yourself down, engaging your core, drawing your belly button into your lower back. I'm not there yet, but now. Then placing your feet closer to your bottom and lifting your hips up to bridge pose, maybe interlacing your fingers underneath. Really lifting your hips. If you don't want to do an Urdhva Dhanurasana full wheel pose, you will come back and come into another bridge pose as this one. Now place your hands down, prepare, but before we come into full wheel pose, Lift your hips up, lift your arms up, place your head down, and place your forearms on the floor like you want to go into a headstand, and release your fingers behind your head and open up your shoulders here more. This is a really good shoulder opener. It should never hurt. It should be challenging but feeling good. You can straighten out your legs as well. I'm not going to do that. And then place your head down again, placing your hand down and coming into full wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Holding the pose, breathing deeply. Maybe you come into a variation with me, lifting the right leg up, pulling the knees into your chest, and maybe straightening that leg. Placing it down, and now the other side. Left leg, knee lifts, then the leg straight up. You can also practice this in bridge pose. And then placing your foot down. Hold the wheel pose, maybe coming onto your toes, maybe shifting your weight forward and backward, and then slowly place yourself down once you're done. Drawing your knees into your chest. Maybe shifting from side to side, massaging your lower back and taking a short rest. From here, we will come into a twist. So straighten out your left leg and the right leg comes across. You can look to the right side or keep your neck neutral. Nice laid back twist. You can stay here or grab the outside of your right leg and straightening out that leg and maybe grabbing the left toes and coming into the cat wants to grab his tail pose. And enjoying this deep quad opener, deep twist, deep hamstring stretch, psoas muscle. Slowly moving out of it, shifting your hips a little bit to the other side, and then the left leg comes across the right into the nice laying twist. Stay here for longer, or you can grab with your right leg the left outside of your foot and come into the cat wants to catch the tail pose. And this is a wonderful stretch and twist at the same time. Always breathing deeply. Now move out of the pose, drawing in your knees one more time into your chest. And if that feels good, then roll up and down, rock and roll rolls, or just move through the side and come into low malasana, hands in front of your heart. Really finding length in your spine. And into a forward fold with the legs hip-width apart. Rise up, lift your hands overhead and hands to the side of your body, feet together. Now, left arm straight forward, palm facing down, right arm backward, both hips face forward. And now turn to the other side, right arm forward. This is preparing us for Natarajasana, dancer's pose. Your shoulders should be aligned like this when you do dancer's pose. So let's start. Starting with the right side, grabbing the ankle or the outside of the foot from the inside. Left arm straight up, and then slowly lift yourself forward. First you move upward and then you move forward. Really looking at one point straight forward. If you fall out of it, come back again or move out of it. Try to keep that balance. Lift that right knee up and place it down. Let's try this on the other side. Grab the left leg from the inside. Really get long and straight, and then straight, slowly move forward, up and forward. It's okay, it's a balancing pose. It's okay if it wiggles. It's normal. And then move out of it. Lift that right knee up. Find the peace and put the foot down. Feet hip width apart and come back into Lomalasana. Finding length in the spine. Opening up your hips here. And then placing your left hand down, right hand up. Stay here or go deeper, and you can bind in this position. Coming to a nice twist here. Breathing deeply. You can always use your strap here as well. Moving through the middle and placing the right hand down, left hand opens up to the side. Stay here or come into the bind. And slowly come out of it. One more time through the middle. Hands in front of your heart, placing your hands down on the floor. And come into Bhekasana, crow pose. Hold the pose. Draw in your belly button. Hold it a little bit longer and shoot your legs back if you can. If not, step back. Upward facing dog. Into a downward facing dog. Then placing your knees down, sit on your heels, placing the right hand onto the floor, left arm over your head into a side bend. Come out of it and to the other side. Right hand close to your ear. Stay open in your shoulders here. Moving out, twisting to the right. Really simple twist. Sometimes it feels so good just to do a simple twist after such challenging poses. Twist to the other side, to the left. Finding length on every inhale. A deeper twist on every exhale. One more deep breath and move out of it. Sit on your left heel and move your right leg across the body. We're going to come into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. I need a strap for this pose. Maybe you don't. Placing your hands interlaced on your knees and really straightening out your back. Look onto the tip of the nose. Finding rest here. This pose really helps to calm the nervous system. I'm going to lift my right arm up, placing the strap in that hand, and just have a little tricep opening first. You can always stay here or move back into grabbing the strap to cow face. Keep your back straight, core is engaged. Looking forward, or if your shoulders really open, you can look upward. Breathing deeply here. Moving out of this pose. Putting the strap to the side, and I'm moving through a fun transition. I'm coming up and twisting, just turning my body once around, and I'm already on the other side, having the left leg across, and then placing my hands on that knee, looking at the point, the tip of my nose, keeping my back very straight, breathing deeply. Lift your left arm up, having the strap already maybe in the hand, and just a nice tricep opener here. You can stay here or bind or grab the strap, keeping the back very straight, core engaged. I'm still looking at the tip of my nose, or you can look up if you're very open. Breathing deeply, calming your nervous system, your breath, your mind. Getting the strap out of the way and placing your feet forward, lifting your hands up and come into Paschimottanasana, into a nice forward fold. We are all done with the hard stuff, so we're going to relax a little bit here. Enjoying, breathing, lifting out of it, and slowly engage your core and very slowly lay yourself down. Lift your feet over your head into Halasana, flow pose. Maybe keeping your hands on your lower back, straightening your legs as much as you can, or interlacing your fingers on the floor. Don't look to the side in this pose, but breathing deeply. If this is not a good pose for you, you can always come into child's pose. Now I'm going to come into Savangasana, shoulder stand. Again, if this is not good for you, come into child's pose, or any other pose that your body is craving. And slowly engage your core and vertebrate by vertebrate. Come down, placing your hands underneath your bottom and really using your core to gently, slowly placing your feet down and come into fish pose, Matsyasana. Keeping some strength and engagement in the core will help you protect your lower back. Breathing very deeply here in this pose. Slowly come out. Pulling your knees one more time in your chest and massaging your lower back. by swaying from side to side, just gently. Making yourself a little ball so your forehead comes to your knees. Hold it here. And then let's get into Shavasana. I give you silence in the Shavasana, and I will let you know when it's time to get out. So just relax and let go of everything. Slowly come back, deepening your breath, stretching your hands over your head, pointing your toes, and maybe flexing them. I like to draw my knees into my chest, wiggle from side to side here. And you can come over one side into a seated position. Sit down and take just a moment longer for your practice. Be reminded that grace will flow when you stop working, pushing, and trying so hard. Just surrender it all. Be present and move through your day with grace, letting go of expectations, and just being free in this way. God bless you.